Yo, 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 good evening, everybody out there in Worlds Collide land. My name is The Schwantz27, and I am joined in the booth by Turdsman. What is going on tonight?
Pretty exciting. Tonight we're doing a little practice race for Ultros League Season 3.
Very, very spicy. So, uh, let's take a quick look at what Ultros League entails. I have this fun little graphic on screen. Basically, we've got to get to 6 characters, 9 espers. You can go to Kefka Tower, defeat the game. And for Ultros League, if you get either 9 characters or 12 espers, you can do the Kefka Tower skip. So if things happen to go out of whack one way versus the other way, that is how they can help themselves out. We have 4 featured runners tonight, and they come from several different divisions here. I think Squack is in Elixir B, so is Jexvrok. Let's see here. Ultros League standings. I should have been prepared with this before.
Oh yeah, me too, actually.
Javinator, I think, is also in Elixir B, right? No, he's not. He is in... I'm sorry. All right, let's start again. Jexvrok is in my division, actually, Elixir A, just as he was in my very first season of Ultros League, so it's good to see him again back in my division. So Squack is in the Elixir B division. Javinator is in the Mega Elixir division.
Ooh.
And OneFreeFitz, I believe, yes, there it is, in Potion A. So we have a few different players from a few different divisions here, and I think this will be a great race.
Oh, absolutely. And in your defense, I forget which division I'm in half the time, so you have to double check that a lot. But lots of really fun races happened during the first week. If you go to ultrasleague.com, you can go and check out where everybody stands after the first week. There's some pretty exciting things in there. I want to say it was Potion B, where 2 runners were 2 seconds away from each other.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, it's a lot of good stuff in there.
Yeah, so if you would like to join, I believe there's still time. You will be put into the Tonic division, which is the lowest rung on our Ultros League ladder. But hey, everybody's got to start somewhere, right? Right? So
Yep.
that's how it gets on. And the other great thing about it is it helps you improve your game, because you get to talk with people that are in your division. Presumably they'll be around your skill set, and you can compare and contrast what your strategy was for attacking a seed versus others. And I think that that's one of the greatest things about Ultros League, is that people are learning from one another. What has been your experience so far, Turdsman?
Oh yeah, definitely that. Like you get, and you get a big pool of people doing it too. Like, every now and then there's little friendly races get ran on the Discord, and those, you can usually end up with about 2 or 3 people in them, and you can talk about what happened, discuss who went where, and all the little hiccups that everybody ran into. But with Ultros League, there's typically 8. I want to say there's a couple of divisions with 7. So you get a lot of people to pick their brain and figure out what went wrong, what went right.
Yeah, for sure. So let's check out our runners here. We talked about them briefly. Squack Mcquack representing Elixir B in the upper left-hand corner with the purple on white text. OneFreeFitz representing Potion A. He's got our little fuchsia shrubbery action going on in the upper right-hand corner. Down in the lower left-hand corner, representing the Mega Elixir division, we got the slate on orange from Javinator. And in my division, let's go, Jexvrok. Do it for Elixir A. He's got the slate with white and the purple trim. So really interesting to see. All of our runners, we'll start out with 3 characters, and we'll see what 3 of them there are. And I think we'll go over some of the differences between this season and previous seasons. In this particular season, we will have access to Magitech. However, we only get the 3 elemental beams and the heal beam to start off with, and we have to unlock a Magitech upgrade, and that Magitech upgrade is done by completing the Magitech factory check. So we're going to need to have access to Celeste, and we're off and running. We'll see what we get and where we get it. It's Terra and Gogo, and Setzer with Dance. Terra's got some steel, so interesting 3 characters to start off with here, Tradesman.
Yeah, not the skill you necessarily want to see on Terra at the start, but after running through the Coliseum tournament that happened recently, I have a much higher respect for having access to steel, especially if you run into Inferno. That's a good 3 elemental shields there. Running into I mean, you can shore up at the very end even. I did a practice seed recently where I grabbed an Atma weapon from Lady on tier 3 of the Kefka fight. Steel's all right, as it turns out.
Yeah, if you know what to steal and who to steal off of, as we see our first check here, Squack going to the Culligan and picking up the Unicorn Esper. He's the first one on the board here.
Just grab that right away.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the runners in the upper right and lower left hand corners, they are heading to Terra's check, the cave to the sealed gate with the nice treasure room there at Imperial Base. Squack looks like he's heading there now. Meanwhile, Jexvrok is in the world of balance Narsh here, checking out the shops and looting the 10 treasure chests in here. Usually when you have a Terra start, most people are doing with what 3 of our runners are doing here.
Oh yeah, and if you take a look at Squack's screen right now, you can see why. He found a Mega Elixir, found an Ice Rod, and if I'm not mistaken, there is a Thunder Shield floating around in here somewhere. Oh, Dragon Horn, there you go, that's good too.
Elemental shields are always very welcome. They not only give you very nice physical defense, but they also will absorb one element and nullify another element. So it's really nice to have that as we start off our seed here.
Oh yeah, it's not inherently necessary for a good defense, but if you find an elemental shield early on, then you can breathe a little bit easier going up against some bosses, knowing that fire isn't going to be too big of a deal.
Jav picks up a Super Ball there in one of those chests, and it looks like OneFreeFitz takes the save. Oh, I thought he was pulling on the Sealed Cave Ninja trap chest, but he is not doing that. Meanwhile, Jexvrok continues looting. He's in Albrook, I believe, here, so a different shop that we've seen thus far. All of our different runners looking to gain a different edge over the other one here.
Yeah, OneFreeFitz finding a Super Ball in this cave as well, so that's a pretty decent amount of offense, especially since they have Gogo as their starting character. Then if they play the cards right in a fight, that Super Ball lasts forever.
Couple of white dresses from Jexvrok there. They give +5 to your magic power. So those are nice, cheap items to boost magic power early in the game. Javinator is the first runner to show us what's at the end of the cave to the sealed gate, and that is that's another Esper there.
Yeah, Jexvrok finding earrings in the Albrook relic shop. Those are darn near necessary, depending on what your party composition is, but decides against purchasing them right away.
Yeah, at least he knows that they are there. It depends on what his funding has looked like. Remember, he hasn't gone and done all of the looting that our other 3 runners have already, right? So, in order to make money, you got to get some stuff out of chests, and we haven't done any fights yet where steel would come in handy. And unfortunately, we don't have really great commands right off the rip, right? We've got steel and we've got dance. I didn't see what dances were on our dance character, but you also don't get to control your character with the dance ability, so it's a bit of a risk reward there.
I don't believe any of our runners have checked yet. Sometimes it's a lot easier to miss stuff when there's a 4-person race, but I don't think any of them have gone into the skills section to go take a look at dances just yet.
And that is Squack's second Esper, so he's got 2 pieces of progression for free here, as Javinator is having a lovely chat with the old man there. Get out of the doorway, please, old man. Thank you very much. And Jexvrok now finally making his way where the other runners have, to the cave to the sealed gate. And Fitz and Javinator following one another into Albrook, but this is the World of Balance version. I believe Jexy went into the World of Ruin version, unless I was mistaken. There is one additional chest you can get in the World of Ruin, and Javinator sees those earrings as well, so maybe he didn't. Maybe he went to the World of Balance.
Yeah, they could be in both, but I don't think... That's another I didn't really notice, so it could have been that he went to the World of Ruin, but I don't think he did. I think I saw the fun little shadow effect.
Okay. Yeah, it's hard to tell sometimes with the layouts of the buildings and whatnot. So, Squack heading into South Figaro, where we can loot the outside chests and walk through the basement and grab some of the chests down there. Haven't really seen anything pop out at me yet, Turdsman, in terms of offense, other than you mentioned an elemental shield and a super ball. That's about it so far.
Yeah, so far. I think there was also an ice rod down in the basement of the Imperial right before the sealed gate. But other than that, yeah, nothing too shiny in the shops. Like you mentioned before, not a whole lot of great abilities on the characters, but with some creative mimicry, you can get a couple bosses down to make those items last a little bit longer and hopefully get some good loot.
Yeah, that's a great point. Go-Go has wonderful utility in terms of being able to mimic items that are broken or thrown and not needing them in your inventory. Fire 2 on that Unicorn Esper, and nothing really on the Bahamut Esper. So we can at least learn one spell from our Espers that will give us some offense, and one spell from our Elemental Shield that will give us some offense as well. But so far, we haven't seen anything. So if you're one of the runners here, Turdsman, and you don't find much, do you potentially gamble on going into Zone Eater for its few treasure chests in the hopes of getting something?
I think so. I've been setting like a 10-minute limit for myself for a lot of these. If by minute 10 I'm not excited about the equipment that I have. I usually look, probably have a rod by that point, probably have a super ball by that point. And mentioned earlier with Go-Go, like at this point, I really like what Javinator is doing right now. Go after the dragon. Use the item mimicry strats to take them out cheap. If you can survive it. Ooh.
Yeah, so this is going to be interesting here. So I
1
also
HP.
I love this play. 1 HP in a dream. A super ball will do a random multiple of 256 damage to a random amount of targets, and Gold Dragon is one target, so it'll be pretty easy to not target the wrong thing by mistake. Javinator, unfortunately, is going to lose Terra for this XP, because if he used a Phoenix down to pick her up, he could not then use the Super Ball Mimic. So, unfortunately, Terra is not going to get this XP, but the other two members of his party will.
And he's probably doing this more for the item the check that you get afterwards. The Crystal Orb is not really that great, but an Economizer is also not really what you want to see at this point. So, unfortunately...
Yeah.
Level 12 for 2 of his characters, though, so that's nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts to instantly be at level 12. Now, he'll probably be able to drag his Terra up to better levels alongside of the other two people in his party, and Jexvrok's getting trolled by another old man, this time in South Figaro. What I like to do is I like to duck in the other building and then come immediately back out, and oh my god, he accidentally is talking to Relic Guy now, too. Oh, jeez.
Oh no.
Old man trolling Javinator again. This is... I wonder how many of them are going to start crying for YMPC remove here.
Yeah, I was just about to say, it's like South Figaro is that's the toughest fight in the game in this fucking thing.
Forget the Gold Dragon. The real boss is the NPCs.
It's true.
Yeah, so Dr. GT pointing out that there was a Minerva in the World of Ruin South Figaro for Squack. Good defensive piece of gear, especially because Terra can equip that naturally. However, again, outside of that Super Ball and that Rod, we're not seeing a whole lot of solutions to problems here. And it looks like Squack is going to go into the Zone Eater Cave, so it's my favorite time. It's time to play the Bridge Troll Throw game. How many bridge throws do we think Squack is going to get? I'm saying 1, because I like some craziness in my races, but not too crazy.
I'm going to say 0 just because I want to see Squack have absolutely no problems with NPCs for this entire race. It's one person who has 0 interaction with the NPCs and ends up like 20 minutes ahead of everybody else. See, look at that. He even got engulfed right away.
There it is. Perfect. So yeah, Super Ball with Mimic is really nice. I really like that play from Javinator. It's unfortunate it didn't work out for one of his characters, but I think our other runners are going to also take advantage of that Super Ball with being able to mimic it with Go-Go, and that's how they'll get their first boss out. Ooh, that's very nice. Flame Shield in the chest, and there's my one bridge throw, and we're good.
All right.
I mean, maybe he did it on purpose to go grab
That's
these
true.
chests down here, right?
All according to plan.
I don't know if he found warp stones either, so you might have to do the walk of shame out of here. And oh no,
Ooh.
that's a throw you never want. That's we didn't even make it to the bridge.
Yeah, that's like a one-frame throw, too. Like, if you're mashing on the A button, he usually doesn't bop you off at that one.
Yeah.
So that's a tough luck.
Yeah, but
Got through with two, though.
Third time is the charm here. And we'll see what's at the end of the Zone Eater Cave. Not even opting for the safety save. I hope that things turn out okay. It is pretty easy to get both of those chests. So in Worlds Collide, for those that don't know, you could buffer your input. So if you're running through this part and if you hold A and if you just look at the treasure chest, you'll end up picking up the chest. So that's the easiest way, at least how I've found, to do that particular room. OneFreeFitz is in World of Balance and IKEA, so he's heading into a different way. I think there was a sniper he just found there.
Yep. Yeah, this is something that I've seen a bit, is people checking, one of those weird towns that don't really have anything to do with anything. Your Ikeas, maybe if you're really desperate, you go to Miranda, check that weapon shop, see if there isn't something there. Because, like we've been saying, they still haven't found much in the way of offense, but there is a slot Celis there at the end of the Zone Eater.
Yeah, so Squack's our first runner with 4 characters. Slots is also pretty decent in the early to mid game as well. Nice AoE damage, and we get the walk of shame here.
Yep. Didn't realize he didn't have any warp stones. Took a quick look around his item list, but
I also see a cat hood in Javinator's menu there, so we picked up on that at some point. And Javinator also found the Super Balls in Returner's hideout. Now, there is a flag that is new with Ultros League, and it is expensive Super Balls. So instead of them being the normal, like, $7,000 to $10,000 range, they're now twice as more expensive. And Squack, unfortunately, does not get that other chest on the other side. So he's going to head out of here with 8 chests, and but he's got Celeste, so that at least is something interesting.
I think that's enough power.
OneFreeFitz, meanwhile, did end up using the dance over on Setzer and mimicked it with Go-Go. It looks like it has Kitty and Snare, which are not great for offense. Well, Kitty just hastes your entire party. Snowball will deal fractional damage, so on things that are not susceptible to wound, that's basically nothing. And same with Snare, that's an insta-death thing, so this is going to be a long fight here for Fitz.
Yeah, it looks like adamantite. I'm not sure. That end of that word tripped me up. Oh, that one can do. Oh, Katana Soul over there on Javinator Street. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like that Adaman guy is strong against... and there goes the only one that can even hit.
Yep, so this is a big old fat runaway here. So Javinator does find Katana Soul. I don't think we have a weapon yet that can be used for the offering, but this will also get him a ton of money if he gets past this fight here. Oh no.
Yeah, I think probably worth a Super Ball. I'm assuming you're talking about Squack running into the tentacles there.
Yeah, this is horrific fight to run into early, especially when you only have a Super Ball, which again does random damage to random targets, right? And there are 4 targets here, and that was only 512 to each of the targets. And if Go-Go gets seized, then yeah, so a couple of resets on the left-hand side there, not unexpected. And OneFreeFitz getting into some grind fight issues early, so a little bit of a roadblock there for some of our runners.
So this is probably just, anecdotal, but I have felt that this season of Ultros League seems to be a little bit more spicy than previous ones. I'm noticing a lot of runners running into stuff like what just happened, where they take pretty common strats. Like you take a couple grind fights out of Narsh, for example, and you run into enemies that specifically counter your particular party makeup. I know that that's not actually being counted for in the randomizer, but I have noticed that happening a lot. Like common strategies getting hamstrung along the way by just bad luck.
Well, I will not share your tinfoil hat conviction. That has not really happened to me. I'm just kidding. That definitely happened to me in my first week seed. As OneFreeFitz is taking a ride on the river. This is an interesting play. Oh, God.
Hello. How are you doing today?
So, yeah, if Master Pug is going to be the enemies on the Elite River, I'm just going to reset out of here as well. Meanwhile, Javinator, not satisfied with one dragon, is going to another dragon here. With buying those Super Balls in a shop, I do like the dragon play. It is going to scale his enemies up 2 levels for every dragon that he kills, but he's also going to learn a lot of spells, and he's going to get a lot of XP, and that is a one-shot to the blue Durgan there for Jav.
Yeah, I think the amount of experience that he's going to be getting from these things is going to keep his characters pretty well in line. Plus, get a scimitar and Ragnarok. Okay, that one was worth it.
Yeah, so Ragnarok is a nice beefy sword for Terra to use, and Fitz is finally getting some enemies that he could kill, thankfully. Cracking that ice rod on those balloons, and oof, this enemy, I believe, is rather undead. And you can kill with a Revivify, but I'm not sure. Jexvrok running into the grabby pasta that Squack ran into, and instant resets, and it's another character there for Squack. Edgar behind Senor Behemoth.
That's not too bad. I definitely prefer to start finding relics after I get my 4th character, but Edgar is a nice find.
Dr. DT corrected me in chat. It is Dante that is undead. It's kind of like the palette swap of that, so thank you for the correction, Dr. DT. Appreciate it. Yeah, I see sprites and I go undead sometimes.
Yeah.
Javinator easily dispatching of Ultros 1 at the top here, the Tritox spot for another Esper. Unfortunately, we do not have Umaro, so he's not going to be able to continue in this loop. But he did find Stray, and that's probably good enough with the fact that he now has a huge lead in levels compared to our other runners here.
If we do find Umaro, I noticed on Jexvrok's screen, just as Javinator was finishing up there, that Realm is hiding in Umaro's cave. So that is that's a good get if you're lucky enough to find the Yeti.
So we got characters everywhere, is what you're saying. Like, we've found 6 characters already between Yeti and Edgar after the Welkin. Oh man. So Jexvrok was using the Mimic the Super Ball strat, and his Go-Go got put to sleep. Yikes. You hate to see it happen.
Yeah, lots of roadblocks from what are typically really effective strategies, just getting stopped dead in their tracks by stuff that's kind of, it's stuff that you don't necessarily see coming.
UltrosLeague.com is the link to the website for the Ultros League. You could see the standings there. We have 4 different runners from 4 different divisions featured tonight, so it's great to see lots of representation across all of the different divisions here. And hey, any given race day, right? Anybody from any division can win any race at any time, or at least that's how I feel. As Jexvrok takes down Senor Behemoth first, getting a little bit better luck than Squack, and he's going to get his 4th character, Edgar, there.
I'm going to take a moment, point out Javinator, after they found the Stray Esper, went right back to that Katana Soul and confused it to have it take itself out. I thought that was pretty clever. I completely forgot that Stray did that.
Yeah, that's a great use of heads-up vanilla knowledge there from Javinator. Again, we don't have a weapon just quite yet to use that offering with, but all of that money will be nice. And Fitz is using the Bahamut summon to clear out some of this nonsense here on the Elite River. I really like that play, especially because you can mimic it with Go-Go. That's really awesome. And
yeah,
finally a use for the... I'm sorry, I was going to say finally a use for those insta-death dances on Senor Behemoth, the undead part of the fight, and it's an Air Force for Fitz at the end of the Elite River here.
Ooh, Air Force is kind of tough. I mean, it looks like they've got enough. Let's see if this Bahamut can get rid of the 2 little ads, then he can throw the Super Ball and probably get this cleaned out. But if those things start using moves, then he might start taking a little bit more damage than he'd like. Launcher.
Yeah, important to take out the side pieces before throwing the Super Ball, although he did get, I don't want to say lucky there, but somewhat lucky in that he did damage the main part. It just was a much lower rate than the other one. Unfortunately there goes the spec, and there goes Air Force, so first boss down there for OneFreeFitz. And Squack is inserting Edgar into his party, who had Blitz, by the way.
Ooh, that's not a bad one. Yeah, Edgar's great. Pretty good stats, very good equipment options, and the fun little extra detail for him is if you go to Figaro Castle with him in front and you talk to the shopkeepers there, he'll get a discount, 50% off. I'm assuming because they're afraid of him.
Oh no, the Elite River. Oh no, it wasn't Esper. I'm sorry, I missed it. So I just checked Fitz's tracker, and he's got 3 Espers, so it was an Esper at the end of Elite River. Javinator smartly realizes that Phase 1 of Senor Behemoth actually absorbs ice, but the second phase does not, so he waited to use that Ice Rod and the Mimic for the second round of Senor Behemoth. Again, great vanilla knowledge coming out here from our runners, as Jexvrok looks like he's going to take our river ride next. And more NPC trolling. Get out of the way, people.
Oh, man!
I think this has been the trolliest NPC scene I've ever seen.
Yeah, and that was Squack, too, so now it's everybody.
Yep. Alright, so it is a glowing stone that the Zen Thief is selling. It's 55,000 in the World of Balance. We'll see if he decides to go over to the World of Ruin to check out the price, because it is a different one.
There is a cat hood floating around, so that's not a completely unattainable number at the very least, but that's definitely not the number you want to see in the tens of thousands digit.
No, definitely not. And I would want to go sooner rather than later, because you never know when you're going to get Sabin, and when you get Sabin, you can't leave to Zen in the World of Ruin without doing the Collapsing House. And sometimes you don't want to do the Collapsing House because you don't need the reward of the Collapsing House, right? So I tend to usually go to the World of Ruin to Zen earlier if I don't have Sabin than later, you know? Just to avoid that.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way.
Speaking of the hard way, OneFreeFitz taking down Katana Soul the hard way. Couple of Bahamut summons, and he gets himself some cash money and the offering. Thankfully, it wasn't all Master Pugs on the Elite River, otherwise that would be awful. Ooh, very nice game knowledge there from Jexvrok. You mentioned Steel earlier. The Master Pug can either give you a Elixir or a Mega Elixir, depending upon if it's the rare or the common Steel. So he's like, hey, give me your stuff, and I'm going to run away. So really nice.
Yeah, worst case scenario for that Elixir is it sells pretty good. Always nice to find. A lot of, I think a small handful of bosses you can steal an Elixir from as well. I want to say, God, I want to say Dadaluma has one.
I know that Atma Weapon, not Toilet Atma, has one. And I believe one of the parts of Air Force does as well.
Yes, that's correct.
I don't remember which one, but
more NPC damage over at Squack screen.
Yep. Jeremy Arroyo, thank you for your raid. Welcome to the Saturday Night Ultros League practice flag set. And it looks like Fitz is going to pick up his Edgar here, as Javinator is going to do Edgar's free check in the World of Balance, the Figaro Throne, and he's going to get the half off of shops here. We'll see who's on the throne. It's a ghost. That's a Magicite.
Hey, not bad. Still progression. Squack making his way through Thamasa, it seems. No characters that can do any checks here at this moment. Just taking a look at some items in some shops. Still kind of hurting for offense. I don't think Squack. I don't think anybody has found the Ragnarok dragon that Javinator took.
Yeah, that's correct. It was in the world of Ruin, Narsh, and we don't have a reason to go there right now, right? Because we don't have Umaro. So, if we found Umaro, then that might be a different story. Jexvrok deciding to keep Gogo in the party, with Blitz as an option. Oh, he only has 4 characters now.
Yeah, he hasn't found the Celeste yet. Looks like.
Yep.
Oh, no one has other than Squack.
Yeah, Celeste was in Zone Eater Cave, so I don't know if our runners will decide to go there, especially now that we've gotten some other additional characters and other additional checks, right? We still don't have a lot of offense in this seed, and we've used up our Super Balls and our rods most likely at this point, so we'll see what our runners decide to do, as Javinator is going to lean into another one of Setzer's checks in Daryl's Tomb.
Yeah, I think at this point, it might be a good idea if you do run into a character somewhere else, and you can easily swap your party around, save a couple minutes that way. But otherwise, yeah, probably not until maybe near the end. If somebody's missing, you get your 9 espers or your 6 characters, but not the other. That's usually a good time to start grabbing the free checks and the easily peekable ones.
Yeah. So, there is Yeti.
There he is.
So Kefka at Narsh is Umaro. So maybe we'll see OneFreeFitz decide to head up to World of Ruin Narsh after this check. And I doubt that Umaro is going to be joining us. But hey, stranger things have happened. And that is Strago at the South Figaro prisoner spot. So we got characters coming out of everywhere here.
Yeah, that's 6 for Squack. Six characters, 2 espers.
And
minute 25.
Jexvrok does pick up his third piece of third esper there from the Elite River. Javinator is going to do a little save action. He is level 20, so let's keep that in mind. I'm not saying anything, but I'm not saying anything, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, Gogo's level 21.
Okay, there we go.
So at least one of them can do math.
Yep. All right, and it's another Ultros.
Shadow.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
This is a very, very wide seed here with a lot of different options.
Lots of characters within the starting party's checks, which is something you don't necessarily like. That's kind of remarkable. You don't necessarily see. I think 4 now. There's.
Oh my God, there's Sabin.
Well, hey. Oh, that's in Edgar's at least. So that's at least not, step 1. That's at least step 2.
Yeah, so this is one of my favorite things also about Worlds Collide is when it's not a key item hunt, all you need to do is to get to a certain number. So we could have radically different paths through the same exact seed, especially when, as you mentioned, there's just characters everywhere. So
yeah, everybody has the same 3 that they started out with, but well, it looks like everybody. The other 3 have picked up Edgar. Squack is the only one that's really gone floating around to find some new characters, but going to get Sabin from here, and somebody, I think Javinator is just about to get his shadow. There he is with jump, natural jump.
Very
jump,
cool.
Natural magic, so it's a magic jump.
And then it is Yeety for OneFreeFitz. So knowing that Realm is up there, do we go there right away, or do we put that off until later after we get some espers?
My instinct tells me to go there right away, because Realm is a fantastic character, but also to just get one of those two gauges full. That way, if afterwards you can be really picky about what you want to do, you can go and specifically go to like the peekable checks, the ones where you can easily dip out if you don't like what you see. But
yeah, and as Jeremy points out in chat, if we get overloaded in characters, then we get skip. It's normally a problem because we're increasing scaling, but if we get to skip, then that's the way to go. Another Esper there at Gal Manor for Madeline, and the Chad for Jexvrok down in the engine room.
Yeah, normally a pretty tough fight, but thankfully Edgar's coming. Oh, Edgar's down now, but came with Aurabolt, which does, I want to say it does do Pearl Elemental,
Yes.
Holy Elemental if you're nasty, which Chatternook does not appreciate.
Yep, so Squack deciding I need Espers is doing a smart play here, heading into the Magitech factory. And I hope he found some Warp Stones, unless he really wants to go all the way to the end. OneFreeFitz is getting in the conga line here for the Zozo Tower. And we got a floating continent play from Javinator here.
Ooh, exciting. Yeah, two runners taking one of the multi-part checks at around minute 30. Now, how do you feel about these multi-part checks? They seem to be a little bit of contention amongst the community over when they're worth doing and whether or not they're even worth doing.
Yeah, I mean, in this... Wow, where is Squack going? He's going all the way
Going.
over.
He's picking it clean.
Oh,
Ooh,
my goodness. Worth the walk.
Big brain.
That is worth the walk right there. That's a chest you almost never see done. For me, if I'm in Javinator's position, I like the floating continent play. Although, he doesn't need the levels. Usually I do floating continent when I'm feeling behind in levels, because it is 3 forced encounters and then 2 bosses before your first check. But Floating Continent 1 and Floating Continent 3 are guaranteed progression. So even though this is a longer check, you know you're not going to get saddled with a dead check here. And if I'm in Squack's position, I like his play of Magitech Factory. I would only do the 2 and warp out, though. I'm not doing the minecart ride unless I'm feeling underleveled.
Yeah, the changes to Magitech make that minecart ride a little bit sweeter if you happen to have somebody with Magitech. But at this point, I don't think any of the characters that we found do.
Yeah. I don't know which ability Strago had, but it's not good enough to make Squack's party, so I'm guessing it's not great. Sabin had lore, and we don't know which lores he's got. Because Javinator, not Javinator. Who got Sabin?
Jexvrok.
Jex. We haven't seen a battle from him with Sabin yet, so. He does pick up the Magicite on the Figaro throne, and OneFreeFitz takes out Dullahan at the top of Zozo Tower, and Welk is in the Gru hole.
Ooh.
And speaking of things that steal elixirs, right? There's our Atmo weapon, and oh no, it's a dead check at the top of Zozo Tower, and it's a cat hood. It's not even something that we could use to throw at people. So, there we go. Unfortunate.
Yeah, finding the second cat hood isn't really that exciting. Finding the first one is kind of cool, but number 2, not really as fun.
Welcome, Uncle Lucifer. Glad you're enjoying watching our races on YouTube. That's youtube.com/FF6WorldsCollide, where we upload all of our live streams, usually after the fact, and you'll find a bevy of Coliseum races that we just finished off yesterday. And that was a really exciting event that we had put on, so shout out to those involved in doing it. Squack, by the way, gets a Force Shield dead check at the first spot. Not something you like to see. And Vargas and the Apple Toilets floating more gracefully down out of the airship. I really like the change to the background here. It's much nicer on the eyes than it was.
Oh, hey, look at that. I never noticed that. That is nice.
Yeah, it's so much better. It's 1,000 times better.
Like, low-key, my favorite new addition is the high contrast world map. I love how easy it is to see that thing now.
Yeah, I also like the subtle changes that were made to the remove flashes. So you do see the first flash on the boss kill now, which does make it a lot nicer when you're not playing with the sound on. I'll sometimes play on mobile if I don't have access to my PC, and that's really nice to see. Esper on the ground here for Javinator after his first step on the floating continent. So he's got our Magicite lead, and it's got Mute on it, which is also a very nice one to find.
Yeah, Zone Seek doesn't get too much play. Casting Shell on everybody can be kind of useful in a pinch, but definitely the Mute is the MVP of that Esper there.
OneFreeFitz is our first runner to take down the Doomgaze spot. Remember, that was the Grabby Pasta, and it is Phantom. That's another important Esper there, but I'm guessing that when our runners get better stuff, they'll go back for it. Meanwhile, that was the Golem Esper that Jexvrok found at the bottom of the ancient castle. So that is a extremely nice pickup for him.
Yeah.
And he's going to take on the dragon here.
Yeah, always happy to see Golem. Very useful summon for all sorts of situations, especially the final boss.
Another
Yeah.
final boss useful Esper there. 26 grand in the World of Ruin to Zen. That's Siren for Fitz, and all of a sudden Fitz is right back in this after getting some unlucky grind fights and some dead checks there.
Yeah, Fitz been making a lot of plays, making it. Excuse me, gaining a lot of ground is what I wanted to say.
Yeah, so question from the chat. Thank you, Cyclor, for coming in. I missed what Squack got at the second Magitech Factory. I'll go check his tracker in just a second, but he is continuing on to the third one here. But yeah, if you have a suggestion for a feature or a feature request, there is a feedback and suggestions channel in our Worlds Collide Discord. If you want to go ahead and check it out, you could have that particular feedback. I don't know if there is like a command for it. There it is. So yeah, go check that out. I agree. Getting rid of the poison walk would be wonderful.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, I always keep some antidotes on hand just in case, because nobody wants to see that.
No. Meanwhile, Dataluma is the boss at the second part of the floating continent, and I can confirm Squack also found a dead check at the second part of the Magitech Factory, so I think he's doing the third part just so that he can get value out of this check somehow, because it is guaranteed progression at the end of the minecart ride.
Plus, does have plenty of warp stones and smoke bombs, so if he doesn't feel like dealing with all the encounters along the way, doesn't have to.
I think for an April Fool's, we should do an "Oops, always poison walk" on the. What do we think? No? Okay.
Just only for the least favorite person in the Discord.
Yeah, that's it.
It's like just maybe Boo.
Or I suggested it, so I'll take one.
yeah, you got to do it now.
Javinator picks up a snow muffler. He does not have Umaro to get a snow muffler from, so. It looks like, unfortunately, the only one that could equip it is Terra, who has the Minerva. Jexvrok digging around in the monster in a boxes. I don't know if he saw the Katana Soul in the classroom there.
No, I think that was just Javinator is the only one that picked that up.
Yeah, I know that a couple of our runners peeked it and reset out of it right away. He was the only one that... Well, him and Fitz were the ones that
that's true.
Have done it, and their Fitz gets his dragon and his Ragnarok, so that's very nice. Umaro willing Fitz up to the top of Narsh, and as you mentioned before, Realm is going to be the reward after the Yeti Cave, and he'll also get an Esper, I believe, from the Tritok Clef, so This is a nice turn of events here for OneFreeFitz.
Yeah, this is a good, worthwhile trip through Evil Narsh here.
Dark Narsh, right? Because we're playing A Link to the Past sometimes.
Right, yeah. Oh, right, it was Ultros 1. This isn't even too tough of a fight. Ooh, Fun Bobby at the end of the minecart race. That's usually not a great one to run into, but it looks like still got a couple super balls to throw.
Yeah.
Looks like Squack's collected up enough offense to be able to not have to sweat this too much.
Yeah. I mean, the good news, if there is any, for Squack is that with the 2 dead checks, he at least was able to get some levels underneath him without increasing scaling. But, oh boy, Javinator running into Magimaster at the end of the floating continent.
Oof. Yeah, that's the very last one, too.
This is the nightmare scenario here.
Yeah, you can't let this wipe you. You're going all the way back to 10 minutes ago if that happens.
Yeah, I don't think he saved the very first spot either.
Ooh.
So, yeah, this is... I've got my... I'm saying my little prayers here for Javinator as Jexvrok is going to get some 2-for-1 value potentially out of the Collapsing House. He picks up the Tizen Thief Esper, and there's a ghost there, so this will be either an Esper or an item standing around. Meanwhile, OneFreeFitz is going to go grab his realm at Yeti Cave, and Squack takes down the first of 2 bosses here in the Magitech Factory.
Javinator opting to use the wind dance. Now, I don't know. I hadn't seen a screen with all the stuff on it, so maybe he knows something that we don't. But there might be the Wump, or I think Wombat is another non-elemental.
Yeah. Yep.
But
So you got to do what you got to do sometimes. That is the Raiden Esper for Squack though at the end. So he's at least going to get an Esper out of this and not another character, which is nice. And it's our third iteration of Ultros. Yay!
it's his league.
Oh, Bahamut summon is also some form of non-elemental damage. So that's nice to see. Pulling that out here.
Yeah, Javinator really digging through his bag to find anything that he has that might put some damage on the board with this guy.
Yeah, I thought I saw a Pearl Rod before, but I don't know if he used that as the first thing in the battle. But yeah, he's going to
Yeah, he did.
Okay. So yeah, Pearl Rod's open because Magimaster starts with having no elemental nullifications there, so that's smart. But now we need some non-elemental and defense-ignoring stuff. And oh, there's the Wombat you mentioned. So this'll do the trick here, and that'll deal some pretty nice damage.
Hey.
And there it is. Crisis averted from Javinator.
Very good. Excellent job there, using every tool that he had in his tool belt that did non-elemental damage for that guy. Really, that was a run ender. Like that was the kind of boss you run into that makes you roll a new seed.
Yeah. Well, that would have been a double-digit minute time waste there, because I'm almost positive he didn't save in the first part. Meanwhile, Squack picking up his Magicite Heir to the Throne there. Javinator does get his 7th Magicite after the Floating Continent. Let's see what Jexvrok is grabbing out of the Collapsing House, and let's see what Fitz gets. Oh, that's right, it's Realm. And it is Odin from the Collapsing House. So we've got a nice different bevy of characters going on here in the seed. Squack has got Strago and Celeste. Meanwhile, OneFreeFitz has got Realm and Umaro. Jexvrok has Sabin. And Javinator has Shadow. So all different sorts of stuff. And that means we're going to see all different sorts of checks as well. Because even if the characters are not in the parties, you do unlock their checks, which is really nice.
Yeah, plus all different sorts of strategies near the end. Lots of a pretty wide variety of equipment capabilities around here. Everybody seems to have picked up that Edgar, who, he's got all the Night Swords on him, but so does Terra, obviously. But Shadow kind of having access to like Striker and Stunner. Umaro's there.
Oops, sorry. I accidentally clicked on the wrong scene. You got to see my face for like a whole 2 seconds. I went to click on the OBS and I clicked on the wrong scene. Meanwhile, it is Tritalk here for Javinator. I'm pretty sure he just picked up a Fire Rod as well. This is also another boss that can give you a lot of trouble. Will nullify every single element except for fire. And absorbs ice, obviously. And OneFreeFitz sees Sabin at the top of Edgar and decides, I don't want Sabin, I already have my 6 characters.
Yeah, that's the right thing to do. That's
Nice.
a long walk for a character.
Yeah, unfortunately, Golem is at the end of the Ancient Castle, so he's not going to get his Calmness protection there. Meanwhile, Squack insta-deaths one of the noodles there. Nice heads-up play from him, knowing that that can work on at least one of the pasta. And Jexvrok is in the Imperial camp here.
Yeah, haven't seen the camp yet. Be interested to see. This is another one where you get a little bit of a peek ahead of time into what you're going to get. Javinator getting Tritalk. After finishing.
Torado was the Esper Tritalk.
Or sorry, you're right.
Yep. All good. So Squack gets his revenge on the tentacles there in round 2 and picks up his 4th Esper Phantom. So I still think it's anybody's race, even though he looks to be behind, in just the counting pieces. There's a lot of easy checks. Like, he can go buy this Esper and all of a sudden he's at 5, right? And, we know that we could also do some other quick checks here.
Yeah, Squack has done, not exclusively, but mostly done the more time-consuming checks up to this point. So I believe still has access to... I don't think he went through... No, he didn't go through Daryl's tomb, but there's a character back there, so he's probably not going to want to do that.
I mean,
I think a lot of the easy checks are characters, actually, for Squack right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think he's going to have to, right? I think his options are Elite River, which we know is an Esper, but I don't think he's going to go there. We also know that we've got access to the Mobliz check, which blows part of your party away, but we could see what that is before we go there. We haven't seen any of Strago's checks, and we haven't seen the Opera House yet from Celeste. So he's also running out of checks unless he goes and does the Edgar loop, right? And we know that Edgar's loop starts with Sabin, so that's not exactly palpable.
Yeah. It would ultimately probably be a good call, but it won't look it until you're already 3/4 of the way through.
Yep. All right, so I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to comment on Jexvrok chewing his way through some random encounters to get, hopefully, another Esper.
Ugh. No, little girl, you can keep the Genji armor.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Mobliz is another dead check here, so yeah, Squack is going to have to pick up another character, and he's going to grab Shadow here at Daryl's tomb, right? This is where Shadow was?
Yes.
Okay.
Which I don't know if you take the floating continent this late in a seed, but that would, I believe was there 2 Espers on the floating continent or 3?
It was definitely 3.
Okay, so
it was either, no. It was 2 and a dead check.
Okay.
The middle.
I thought the middle
dead,
one,
yeah. So we were talking before about the multi-part checks, right? And I absolutely hate the floating continent unless I don't have either my character or my Esper. If I don't have 6 and 9 or for either of them, then I like floating continent. I like doing it because I know that there's guaranteed progression. But if I already am at 6 characters, then I'm usually not going to go there.
Yeah, because if you go through 15 minutes of the floating continent at the very end, it was 2 dead checks and a character. Or, yeah, I can see that for sure.
All right, so OneFreeFitz is 1 Esper away from go mode there with Starlit at Esper Mountain. Javinator is going to grab his 6th character with Sabin here at the Edgar loop, and if he continues all the way down to Ancient Castle, he'll get his go mode as well.
Squack going for the Shadow. Gonna go ahead and take this fight against number 128.
Well, yo dog, I heard you like cat hoods. So, Imperial Camp, another cat hood. Ooh, there's an Atma weapon in the chest down there in the Ancient Castle path. I did not see that at first when Jexvrok went down there. Maybe he didn't loot that chest. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention. But yeah, that's a nice pickup to find.
I just noticed a few minutes ago that Jex's Edgar was swinging that thing around.
Okay. It's lightsaber time, boys and girls.
It's a good weapon.
And Jexy is leaning into the Sabin checks, which I really like because he is the only runner that has Sabin at the moment. So even though he doesn't know this is good for him in order to, sort of make up the time for the other runners. Ooh. Oh, this, however, is not good for him. Well, you know what to do in the chat, boys and girls, and Moogles of all ages. It's the spicy chicken emotes.
We got the fried chicken here.
Wonder if he has stop.
I don't remember. There has not been a lot of great spells coming out on. We had mute, I think, on one of them, and I think that's about it as far as really good late game spells on any of these Espers.
Yeah, I saw that we had bio on one of the Espers, but it doesn't look like Jex has it. He's got poison, which will do some damage, but it's not great.
Yeah, OneFreeFitz, unfortunately taking the Daryl's tomb route. Gonna see that Shadow sleeps there. We'll see if Fitz decides to pick them up. Looks like it.
Yeah, so Delasa, thank you for the raid. Welcome to the Saturday Night Showdown here on Worlds Collide.
Hey.
So OneFreeFitz knows where a 8th character is, right? He knows where...
oh, that's true.
He knows where... I forget he knows where Sabin is, right? Because he reset out of it.
Yeah.
So that is a distinct possibility that he's going to hedge his bet here and be like, you know what? I'm already all the way through Daryl's Tomb. Let's beat this boss if it's easy, and number 128 is. And if I eventually stumble into yet another character, I could go get my 9 and get my skip.
Yeah, I think that's got to be what's going through his head right now. That's a good strategy.
Oh, so I don't know what it was at the bottom of Barren Falls, but Jex's tracker still says 5 and 7, so that also feels atrocious.
I believe he had to reset out. Spicy chicken was just a little bit too spicy.
Fair enough. I had assumed that he had won, and maybe that was my bad for assuming.
That's a fair assumption. He's pretty tough. I think it was mostly some rough luck, but
another character
finds Locke instead. That's a good pickup. Deciding who he wants to empty out first.
Yeah, I like that play.
That's interesting. I never thought about that, but you can get away with doing that for this one. You can see who it is and then look into your party and decide if there's anybody you want to kick out. Unfortunately, it's a rage lock, so.
Yeah, so the thing with Blitz is if we're going to get to level 42, then we have 2 bum rush users, right? You have your regular Blitz user and your go-go. I don't know if we're going to get there, but yeah, I like him at least looking to see what Locke has, and unfortunately Rage is not going to fit the bill right now over Go-Go. Go-Go's utility is just too great for his party comp at this point.
Yeah, when you're lacking in really powerful abilities, you don't have throw, you don't have match attack. Go-Go's really nice to have along to shore up to double up on anything like that. Jexvrok checking out the Ghost Shop, which has Mega Elixirs in it.
Yeah, so there was 2 KT unlocks here. OneFreeFitz grabbing his 9th Esper from Gal Manor. Javinator did not go all the way to the Ancient Castle. He instead short-circuited out and fought the Doomgaze spot for his 9th Esper. Squack is seeing his 7th Esper on the ground here. So we've got a race, boys and girls. As first one in the tower is OneFreeFitz, repping Potion A to the fullest. 5205.
Yeah, this is exciting. This is a two people out of a 4-person stream kind of hitting the same thing at around the same time, and then having a different strategy going in. It looks like OneFreeFitz is overloading the right-hand side. I don't know if he's just feeling really bold or if he's going to dip out and try to redo it with some of the other ones with his full party. I think so, because this realm is only level 25.
Yeah.
Versus Javinator taking a little bit of time to do some shopping before they go in there.
Yeah, so I did see him pick up a stack of X potions. I don't think we've seen healing magic in this seed really anywhere. So that's really a nice heads-up play for him to say, you know what, I don't have any healing. I think I saw some good stuff here when I looted before. I'm going to go back and get it. I don't think he picked up the Mega Elixir, because remember, he also defeated Magimaster at the end of the Floating Continent, so he doesn't need another Mega Elixir. He already has one.
Right. Yeah, and he does have a Blitz user, too, so worst case scenario, if he has to scrimp and save, he can just use those X potions on Edgar and have Edgar try to top everybody else off. Jexvrok finds some pugs in a chest on a train. Decides to go take him out but possibly because he wants to steal from them. Get a couple extra Minervas.
Yeah, I wonder if any of the other characters in the party can equip the Minerva, and he already saw that, and he's like, you know what, it's worth taking the time to do this fight for it.
It's definitely a good piece of armor. It's got a lot of elemental resistances on it. It's got a lot of stats. The Minerva is a good one.
So interesting thing to note here is that even though OneFreeFitz headed into the tower first by a couple of minutes, I think it was a little bit over 2 minutes, he overloaded party number 3. So this means that he's going to have to walk through the tower twice, as opposed to Javinator is only going to have to walk through the tower once, because he split up his party into 2-1-1. And we got a Burning House play from Squack. This feels awful late in the seed.
Yeah, this is man.
And with these encounters too, I would have just reset here.
Yeah, this is unfortunate. It's not the thing that you want to have to do this late. I wish I could see their full tracker, because it'd be interesting to see what other options Squack had available. But I think possibly even with 7 characters, he was probably also running a little low. I can kind of see Burning House maybe being a bit of a nicer proposition than another multi-part check at this point. But once you start running into Tonberries, I'd probably start rethinking things.
Yeah, so question from the chat from Drinks Glue. Do you think that Fitz is playing it safe because he thinks he's the first one in the tower? Well, hopefully he plays it not on level 5 here. Ooh, Go-Go
okay.
taking a wipe. I think he might feel underleveled with his party, maybe. I didn't see what his levels are, but those HP values are looking a little low for full HP. So maybe he thinks, you know what, I do the tower with my full party, and I get the extra levels. I beat the bosses faster, even though I have to walk through it twice. So I think that's what his strategy is here.
And it could be that he figured, hey, it's minute 52. I have a feeling I'm getting in this before everybody else. I wouldn't be surprised if he felt that, but I think it is a combination of that, and I do think he's around level 31. I think Go-Go was level 30, so getting those extra levels would be good.
Yeah, Javinator also falling victim here to the Doom Gaze.
Ooh.
Taking out Edgar in one go and leaving Go-Go to clean up the mess. And yeah, this is awful. This is not a very fun first boss here in Kefka's Tower.
Yeah.
Ooh, juicy sniper procs. Love it from Fitz.
Jexvrok ran into Inferno, but I didn't see if he abused Steel to get any more elemental shields off of him. I think probably at this point, you got your eyes on the prize. You want to get through as fast as you can. Except when you run into tentacles randomly.
I mean, this is not going to be bad, as Javinator unfortunately has to reset out from Doomgaze here. But now he at least knows that Doomgaze is there, right? So he could configure his party. And why are there piranhas in a burning house?
I mean, I guess they set the house on fire. I don't want to ask how, but that's, they're there, prime suspect.
Yeah. So this is going to be good for Jex, even if he didn't mean to do this, because he's going to get another Esper out of it. And yeah, he had access to it with Setzer, but, he might have wanted to save this for last. Unfortunately, Doomgaze bullying Go-Go now here.
Yeah, Fritz not running into too much damage from the level 5 Doom, but Doomgaze just using regular old Doom a whole bunch of times, just causing trouble.
Yeah, Doom and W-Wind is not a fun combination, or not W-Wind, Cyclonic that's the move it does. Meanwhile, Doomgaze round 2 for Javinator here.
Is going a little bit better. Possibly, I didn't check to see if he put a safety bid or anything like that on Edgar, but Edgar's still standing.
I would have to imagine this is what he did. There was not enough time to take a grind fight.
Yeah.
Alright, and our first runner past Doomgaze is OneFreeFitz. Unfortunately, he's got to pick up his Go-Go, and yeah, levels are in the low 30s, so he's saying, I want to get levels on all of my characters. And maybe he's just overloading the party to do the Inferno spot, and then do the Dragon, and then warp out and do 2-1-1. I will do that sometimes. If I'm feeling a little bit low, I'll go into Kefka's Tower and fight this KT Dragon here with my whole party. Yeah, that's what he's doing.
Yeah. But also press that button. That could have just been muscle memory, but also could have been him wanting to send this party up the middle to take those two bosses out as well. Ooh, getting a Quake right out of the Dirt Durgan right away. Go thankfully stays up.
Couple of Espers for our other runners there. Squack getting Ifrit out of the Burning House seems appropriate, and
maybe it wasn't the Piranha's fault.
Oh, so that was his final Kefka. I'm sorry, that was his last piece of Magicite. I must have miscounted somewhere. And Jexvrok is going to hopefully pick up his last here at the Norse Weapon Shop. At the very least, he's going to get a choice between 2 high-tier items.
Yeah, this is a good one. This one always feels good. You get hey, already have a Dragon Horn? I'll take that Esper.
And that is Kefka unlock there for Jexvrok as well. Looks like Squack is peeking a couple of checks rather, to see if he could find a pair of characters for Skip. I didn't see what was at the bottom of Fanatics. It was so very quick.
I think it was an imp.
Okay. Gonna go get some more levels here at the Opera House Dragon, and Javinator gets past Doomgaze with a nice usage of that safety bit. Meanwhile, usage of Float from OneFreeFitz on this Dirt Durgan fight here.
Hey, it's nice to see Float every now and then.
Squack getting kicked out of the Opera House here, and Jex finally checks the right monster in a box after checking all of the wrong ones for the Katana Soul.
Yeah, still don't know. I think he's already got... No, I'm thinking of Fitz already has the offering on,
Yep.
I want to say Setzer with the sniper.
Yeah, but Jex finding that Atma weapon could definitely use it, and there is an experience egg as the drop from the dragon. So that'll help you gain a little bit of levels, huh?
It's a bit late, but it's always nice to see it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because you could actually go into Kefka's Tower from the beginning if you really wanted to.
That's true.
I've done it once in a race where I found absolutely nothing in my normal looting route, and I'm like, you know what? There are 10 chests I can get to in Kefka's Tower without having to fight anything. Why not? So, Jexvrok also employing Float, but using Quake against Katana Soul. So we got
that's
some
interesting.
Float Quake strats here. Very nicely done. We got a lot of different things going on in this race. This is great. OneFreeFitz is going to continue with that overloaded party up the middle here. So he is not only now behind Javinator in terms of just walking through the tower, he's going to have to do this walk again. So let's see if the fact that his parties are going to be stronger against these boss gauntlet fights make up for the time that he's going to have to do additional walking through here.
Yeah, I suppose this is a gamble. I guess Fitz is gambling on these bosses being a little bit more tough than normal. I guess I don't believe... Nope, he doesn't have Sabin. Hey, there we go. There's a good reason for Fitz to be doing what he's doing.
I mean, I was going to say, we've seen Doomgaze and Magi Master and Spicy Chicken and a couple of other bad bosses hiding, and what the hell's going on Jex's screen? Ruh-roh.
Oh, it was a reset.
Well, I think his
or
emulator
maybe
must
an
have
unintentional
glitched
one.
out. That's crazy. Oh my god, and he lost the Katana Soul fight from it.
Ooh. Did he? Oh, he did. Yeah, the chest was closed. Oh no.
Yeah, that's awful. Oh man. Dude, this is why I feel like my inner Cyan come out every once in a while. I hate technology.
Right, yeah. Just which one of these levers? Oh my god.
Late Coliseum dip here for Jexvrok, trying to find something, anything. And we did get a Dragon Horn, so he's going for the Dragoon Boots to pair it up here.
Yeah, I can see this. I mean, you don't want to see your Coliseum guy use Mantra, but I think that's something that came out from the Coliseum tournament. Is a lot of runners who had just written off the Coliseum in general before kind of realized, like, hey, even if there isn't, even if I'm not going to get auto image, I might be able to get a really nice piece of equipment that I've been really wanting to find this whole game.
All right, so I can't confirm it, but I think Fitz just lost the race. There was a train, there was a blitz, and there was not a suplex.
Oh. Well, yeah, what are you doing this for, then?
So it doesn't matter. Fitz has been disqualified.
Yeah,
Thank you
it's
for
a shame.
Here's your excellent party gifts. Meanwhile, another crazy strat here. It's some Palador action on number 24 for Javinator.
Oh, here comes Marshall. Another new addition to, what is it, 1.2 now, I believe?
Yes. So, with the newest version of Worlds Collide, there is a new check, the Moogle Defense. And Marshall is the boss in the Moogle Defense, but he has some pups with him. We decided to spice it up and put some random enemies with Marshall, and they were coverts, and I say were because that Bahamut just destroyed them, which is really nice, because those are really tough enemies.
Yeah. They're still normal enemies, thankfully, so they don't have juiced up HP totals, but sometimes if you run into the wrong thing at the wrong time, especially in Kefka's Tower, if you don't have a full party, I think there's those Magitech armor reskins that have a ton of really nasty blue magic. And
Fortis and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it's Fortis. To Fitz's credit, I want to say I think it ends up being neutral now because Fitz did pick up the meme chest. So
yeah, I mean,
revalidated.
The validation chest. It seems like it's a thing that always happens. So Squack.
It's not good enough anymore.
Squack debating on Toilet Atma. There we go. The real MVP. Squack showing us what's at Toilet Atma. This is not a fun fight, though. Here.
No.
All right, Jav, give it to us. Give us the suplex. Give us the suplex. We want it.
Oh, come on. The Blitz command is right there.
Oh, no! Double imp!
The evilest of toots.
Oh, man. Double down rating with a party of 6. Thank you. Welcome into the very end of the seed. Better late than never. Show us the suplex, Jav. Come on now.
Come on, do it. Ah!
He's not doing it.
Just because it's a terrible idea doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. We saw somebody in the burning house earlier. We know this.
0 meme points have been acquired on this stream. And that's Jex's second dragon down. And Old Man is sleeping on Squack's screen, going with the Toilet Atma fight here. Yeah,
the Dream Stooges are a lot nasty. Like, I don't know why, but when I first started playing this, I never really thought these guys were that tough. But the further along I go, the more unhappy I am to see them. Especially, here it comes.
Yeah, that's a reset.
Oof.
So the 3 Stooges aren't a problem if you have the elemental things to deal with them, right? If you have ice to deal with Curly, then they're not really a problem. If you don't, like in Squack's case, and oh my god, he's back at the Velt Cave.
Oh dear.
Oh man. So that's 7 and 7 for Squack here. And no dragons. This is why you save. Save after every check.
It's important to save. I save too much, and that's better than too little, unfortunately.
Yeah, my mantra is save after every check, and only menu when you save.
I definitely that second part of that I struggle with sometimes, but it's a good idea, especially if you find something that is important. Like even if it's a dead check, but it's a dead check like an Atma weapon or whatever.
All right, so Jexy is doing some last minute shopping.
Poor Squack.
Yeah, well, every runner has this one lesson that they learn the hard way with Worlds.
Right.
Clearly, this was the lesson learned the hard way here. And I'm sorry in advance for the audio on this, but we're going to switch over to Javinator.
Yeah, hit the buttons at 108. Javinator really zipping through, has not really ran into a whole lot of roadblocks in what is otherwise a kind of just objectively pretty nasty seed.
Yeah, there wasn't really a lot of offense going on, unless you got to certain places to know where to find it, you know?
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see how Javinator does against the big tower stuff. So yeah, Jexvrok went into Miranda, another, like I was mentioning earlier, a town that you don't see get a whole lot of play. I didn't see what they picked up from the shops there, but they were doing a whole lot of selling, so we must have found something pretty nice. So I don't know if we still do the full breakdown of all the fun stuff around the Kefka fight.
Yeah, why not?
There's a fantastic infographic on the wiki portion of the site that I usually I kept up, to reference when I was first starting to get playing with this game. I highly recommend that everybody go check that out, so that you can know things like the long arm, which on tier 1 is the one on the monster's right-hand side, the one that's closest to the screen there. That is vulnerable to instant death, and I believe petrify. I think that's the one that can be hit with petrify.
Correct.
So good way to take that thing out right away. And then the face is weak against fire, and that would probably be a good idea for the next check, unless you wanted to use float, which has been very popular this seed, because if the face is the last thing to die, it will use a very powerful quake on everybody.
Yeah, so tier 1 is all about the physical offense, and it's really the armor check tier of the final battle. And we found some armor. We haven't found any offensive prowess, but Terra is getting bullied around there. Thankfully, Javinator bought that fat stack of X potions from the Return of Side Out.
Yeah, that short arm doesn't really do a whole lot of fancy stuff, but it will hit you really hard. And OneFreeFitz getting through Goddess. Good job.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Jav didn't decide to use Phantom here, especially knowing that he... oh no, he didn't go get Golem. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That was Jexvrok.
Yeah, might be saving that.
Golem. Yep, that makes perfect sense here. Fitz, meanwhile, is back through his tower trek, so you see that the difference that walking back through the tower makes is that Fitz is still... He still has one more boss to fight, whereas Javinator is already on tier 2. 4 different parts. We have Mute for magic, that's all the way in the back, so that'll nullify magic. I don't know if we have any instant death. Well, I know we have some Esper summons that could possibly do it, but I don't remember seeing Doom or X-Zone on any of our Espers. That would be useful for tools. And then Tiger is our next source of a sore spot there, is weak to ice. And then hit will death counter with 10 hits and just does physical attacks.
I think, yeah, okay, yeah, Setzer has X-Zone. I thought I saw that on tier 1 as well. Yeah, it's nice to get rid of tools early on. Mute, if you find Mute, then the guy in the back, you don't have to care about that at all. But tools definitely can sneak in with some really nasty, non-reflectable, and occasionally defense-ignoring abilities. So it's nice to get that taken care of quick.
Yeah, I don't have access to the Nightbot commands, but I will make sure that somebody who does can do all the video ops. And oh god,
oh dear,
confused on Fritz's screen. Stop hitting everybody else, not Mog Setzer.
At least it wasn't with the because it looks like Edgar's using the scimitar. That would have been unfortunate. But yeah, the new site is fantastic. I strongly recommend everybody go check it out. I believe the new URL is ff6worldscollide.com. Very slick, lots of new options, lots of all of the old Coliseum flag sets are in there. The new Ultros League flag sets, plenty of really, I know I mentioned it earlier with the map, but plenty of really good quality of life and accessibility options being added to the randomizer. Really happy to see all that.
I'm going to do something crazy here, so I'm going to be muted for a second. We're punching somebody in.
All right. Doing something crazy. In the meantime, ooh, Falcon hit showing up. Falcon hits, music starts playing. Is that the wrestling reference?
Yep.
I don't know. I don't actually know wrestling. I just know wrestling references.
Falcon hits theme. Anyway, yeah, so we're gonna punch Falcon hit in here. Because he was another runner that volunteered to be on Restream. The tracking information's obviously not right, but who cares? So
he's got at least 6 characters and 9 espers.
There you go, and that's all that matters.
Ooh, Jexvrok taking a quick fight to dodge Doomgaze's nasty math attack.
But by the way, go follow Squack. Give him a follow.
Yes.
As he was featured on Restream. And again, Squack, if you're still in the chat, thank you so much for allowing us to broadcast you on stream. It's never easy to be ridiculed and mocked. No, I'm just kidding.
That was tough. Like, we were watching the whole thing, and a lot of it. We've got a lot of really strong runners. Like, even the new guys that are coming in, they're picking it up really quick. So I'm reluctant to blame anybody for having a bad run. You know, sometimes you just pick the wrong thing at the wrong time. You know, it's tough.
Well, we saw there were many paths through the seed. There are all of our runners have wildly different characters. Some have Sabin, some have Locke, some have Umaro and Realm. So it was just a matter of, you know, I think, unfortunately, sometimes you choose the least desirable path, right? You got Strago, and you got stuck with Strago's checks, which also doesn't help either.
Well, and the thing that I think, and maybe the thing that ends up tripping people up with that is if there isn't a lot of really strong offense or defense in the sort of the standard looting spots, you know, South Figaro, Narsh, the Returner hideout, your really good weapons, your linchpin items are going to be based on which checks you pick when. So especially in a seed like this where everybody's flying around all over the place, you know, two of our runners found an Atma weapon, the rest of them didn't.
Right. And two of them found Ragnarok.
Right.
So it just, even if you open 120 chests, did you open the right one or two? That matters.
Exactly.
Oh no, Javinator miscounting here for the Phantom play on tier 3, and that is going to leave him in a world of hurt. Meanwhile, Falcon hits on tier 2, OneFreeFitz starting up tier 1, and Jexvrok getting past his Doomgaze fight. And yeah, at this point, I think you either heal one character all the way up, or you heal the boss. Yeah,
the fun strategy, if you drop a Revivify on the enemy, it I want to say it heals like 1/16. Yeah, there we go. 1/16 or 1/8 or some percentage.
1/8. It has to be, because his HP is 40,000 and a Revivify is 5,000. So I'm gonna guess, based on my hashtag quick maths, that that it's a 1/8 total there.
And that is a strategy to get away from the nasty HP threshold that tier 3 has, where it starts using Train.
Yep.
Train or Meteo as a counterattack to basically everything, and it's a really good way to get your party set up, knocked out right before the tier sets up. So it ends up being a really bad time to have that happen to you.
Fun fact, I did do mathletes in high school, so thank you guys for mocking. It's now everybody's turn to mock me.
Everyone gets to make fun of everybody.
Pile on.
I dropped out of college, if anybody wants to make fun of me about that.
I played 3 sports. I played football, basketball, and baseball, but I was also a mathlete, so that's the duality of Schwantz. A jock or not a jock, you know?
I mean, I think you're still up 1, because mathlete only cancels out 2 of those other sports. So you got a 1, you're positive by 1.
Yeah, there we go. Alright, so OneFreeFitz, by the way, let's talk about his strategy for tier 1, as it doesn't seem to be going well, but I liked the premise behind it. He has a person with an offering and a sniper, so he casted Float on his party to avoid the Quake death counter from the head, because he couldn't guarantee that the head would be the last thing that he kills.
Man, taking a lot of physical damage though, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is the armor check of the seed here. I wonder if he burns one of his mega elixirs here. If he
might be the thing to do.
All right, give us his train suplex, Jexy, please, for the love of God.
Oh, yep, we got one left. Now he jumped.
No, that's an Aura Bolt. Come on. So C Runner asks, what's so great about Sniper? So Sniper has 190 battle power. It does the same damage from the back row, so you can back row your characters, so they'll get half as amount of damage from physical attacks. And it has a chance of proccing for 3 times damage on floating targets or 1.5 damage on all other targets. and there's not a lot of targets in the final boss that, oh my god.
Oh no. Oh, Javinator.
So that was a double Medio and calmness there. And Edgar is the last one standing alive. Yikes. So there are a lot of bosses in Worlds Collide that float, so it's good to take advantage of those procs. So that's why Sniper is usually thought of as maybe not an S tier item, but maybe like an A tier item.
Yeah, it's at the top of whatever tier is right below, like the Illumina and the Ragnarok and everything like that. It's nice to have if you don't have anything else, which is definitely what's been going on in this seed. But yeah, it's a pretty good weapon. Man-Eater is another one that's kind of in a weird position where it's not great, but if you don't have anything available, it's better than swinging around a crystal sword, for example.
Yeah. Tier 1 finally done from Fitz, as Kefka is bullying our runners tonight.
Yeah, this is a brutal final boss.
Yeah, because Falcon Hit had a lot of trouble on Tier 2. Here comes the Merton as well. He burned one of his Mega Elixirs. He must have bought more than one from that Returner's Hideout shop. And here comes the Phantom Strat again. Let's see if we can execute it the correct way this time.
Ooh.
Sayonara Go-Go.
Javinator was trying to do some mimicry with the Thunder Shield, but got Havoc winged for his trouble.
All right, we got 2 down and 1 imp on OneFreeFitz' screen. So he's just trying to hang on. Sabin is going to be our Moogle thing. Not our Moogle. Our healing mule. By the way, there are lots of other runners that are in this seed, and they're all commenting in the chat. How
they are. Yeah, Ficta's complained. Everybody's really mad, and they are right.
Yep.
Oof, Falcon Hit lost Shadow on the way up. Javinator has not lost this yet. Edgar is doing a decent amount of damage. If they could just keep on their feet, I think Javinator might be able to pull this off.
Yeah, so Edgar has the Atma weapon. And at least Gogo is able to cast some spells, question mark? Oh, this is not good. Yeah, I don't know how he gets out of this here.
Yeah, this is bad.
Because the problem is that Goner does split damage against people if you have more than one person up, and it does not if you don't. I think Javinator has enough HP. Let's see after this X potion.
Yeah, I don't know. Ooh.
Does he have enough HP to survive a non-split damage Goner? And that's Jexy taking a reset on Goddess.
This is a gnarly one. Whose fault is this again?
So Imp is down, Gogo is down, and Edgar is poisoned from Fitz, but finally he's able to cast Siren on Tier 2.
Okay, that's interesting. Javinator got a little bit lucky there with a Fallen One instead of one of his characters getting just outright murdered.
Yeah.
There's a slight chance to... Okay, here comes the Goner.
Right,
if Javinator can get his guys up, he might be able to survive this.
No, he should attack with Edgar, and then Gogo will die. Can Gogo tank this Goner? That's the question. No, probably
no. No, unfortunately.
Well, the thing... So now Gogo's going to be dead, and Edgar's going to be damaged. So Edgar's going to have to get up one of the other party members, and then he's going to have to get healed, because remember, he's got the Atma weapon, and he can only do full damage with full health. Meanwhile, Falcon Hit is deciding his realm is going to stay at 1 HP. I think that was...
that sucks.
Oh. Yeah, it's tough when you only have... Like, losing one character to Calmness is... Or losing one character on Tier 3 is not bad. Losing 2 is kind of sus. Losing 3 is just... There's almost no way to come back from that.
Yeah, Javinator got really spanked from Tier 3 to Tier 2. I think 2 of their characters were already down, and they had a hit queued up. The hit went through, and then Calmness took out a third one.
Alright, so speaking of Goner, here comes Goner for Falcon Hit.
Falcon Hit, who we have not been watching this entire time, but seems to have not be having that much trouble with all of this. Oh, and there's the crack. GG's to Falcon Hit. I believe you won.
Yeah, he is in first place at this race, 1:24.44. So get your GGs to the champ.
Man.
Falcon Hit again. GG's.
And Javinator just jumping right back in.
Yeah.
Not going to let this take. Never going to
Give you up.
Yes.
No,
I can't. How did I forget that song? That's something's wrong with me.
All right. Well, it is not Festivus, but this is the airing of the grievances of the Falcon Hit. Congratulations on first place. When Squack did not save after getting his final 2 espers and got kicked out of the tower unceremoniously by Doomgaze, I punched you in so that we could have somebody to watch, and it was the right call. So GG's on your win. Tell us about your seed, and we didn't get to see it. So what did you do?
Which visits? I don't know. I played kind of loose. I got Shadow. Where did I get Shadow from? I got Shadow out of Daryl's tomb.
Yep.
And then I was following Shadow checks. And then there was Magimaster at Floating Continent the third boss. So, well, 4th boss. At the 3rd check. So I had like no offense, no like magic defense piercing offense. So I had to use a Pro Rod, Bahamut with Terra, and then I drained him to death.
Ooh.
And I was
amazing.
like,
Cool.
This was the second time I've done this, and actually this one went a lot smoother because the other time I had like 2 people with Minerva, so he just like couldn't hurt me. I think I had to like attack my own. The other time I had to attack my own characters in order to hurt them, so I could hurt Magimaster with Drain, and that was it was an interesting one.
That is amazing.
It's like a Charlie Chaplin movie.
Yeah, we gotta make a highlight of that. That is actually incredible. So you went all the way to the Floating Continent, and you ended up getting the 2 espers there. So who was in? We saw who was in your final party. Did you get Sabin? Did you go on that route, or did you go a different way?
I got Umaro out of Kefka and Narsh. I thought I was gonna get Skip, so I got Realm, and also I got Sabin. So I was like, oh, I'm just gonna get Skip, but then I didn't get Skip, and then I was just like, oh, I just wasted like however much time it took for me to get the extra 2 characters. So I was like, I'll just go to KT. And it was okay. My offense was like not great, but it wasn't the worst. I had natural jump Shadow, so I got to use Dragonhorn Gauntlet Maneater, which is like super fun.
That's interesting.
But also, it was my calmness breakthrough, and I had Phantom, right? So I Phantomed and then Quick, so the shields were down for Shadow, and I'm so mad comment is because calmness hit Shadow. And like Shadow never like gets calmness because usually you get blocked by the dog or something. And I'm like, this is the first time this has happened to me where Shadow actually got hit by calmness. I guess it kind of makes sense because he doesn't have a shield because I was using the gauntlet. But I was super surprised.
Yeah, I guess this was just a nasty seed for everyone altogether. So what did you do to shore up your offense? Because that was definitely a through line for a lot of these runners is not really finding decent equipment or spells early on.
Oh, my early game was not that bad because, well, I wouldn't say it's not that bad, but like I leveled enough so I could use Bahamut with a gold hairpin, and that's what I used early. With Go-Go using Mimic, right? So I was able to get a lot of mileage out of that. Eventually I replaced Go-Go, so I couldn't use like that strat much anymore. And there was a Ragnarok from the Narsh Dragon. That was my main offense.
It seems to be the only good sword available.
Yeah. The Ragnarok, and there was an Atma weapon in the Edgar loop if you went all the way down there.
I did get that, but I didn't find anyone to use it.
Yeah. By the way, Ficta is jumping with Shadow and a stunner, and he just stopped tools, so that's pretty incredible.
You'll love to see it.
Yeah, Fitz has been on this Kefka fight forever, it seems. He's just having an awful time of it.
Yeah, I don't believe they've reset either. Like they're just chugging through it.
Oh, beautiful 4 sniper procs. Love it. Yeah, there was sniper, I think that was in World of Ruin and IKEA. Some of our runners dug into some very obscure shops just to go get something.
Sniper would have... Wait, can... I'm guessing Shadow can't equip it.
Who is using
an offering
it?
as well?
Setzer is using it.
Yeah, Setzer.
Yeah, there was... The Katana Soul was in the classroom monster in a box.
I never checked that because I was like, oh, I don't really have any offense that I can really like use an offering, so I was like, I'm just not going to check it.
All right, so Ficta has only hit left, and he's using Vanish strats. So I'm guessing he probably doesn't have Golem either for calmness. I think Jexvrok is the only runner that we've seen that went all the way down to the Ancient Castle for Golem. Another quad sniper proc. Holy cow.
Yeah, it's definitely that picture of that monkey with the brain scan. It says neuron activation. I love seeing that throw. I think there's another one that does it earlier on. I remember Hawkeye or something like that.
Yes, yeah.
But I remember from the vanilla game that just it feels so good to see them just hurl that thing at a balloon.
So normally, Falcon Hit, when you do get seeds like this where you can't find offense, do you do more shopping? Do you check in more chests? What is normally your strategy to sort of get it, or do you just hope to happen into it at some point along your path?
Usually I just hope to happen into it. This one specifically, I did more leveling than usual. Because when I got the Shadow with Jump, I was like, oh, this can like carry my mid game, right? As long as he gets enough levels. So I took a lot of checks that gave me levels, like Floating Continent, right? That's why I wanted to do Floating Continent. So I could have the levels to like bandage up my poor offense.
Yeah, so the amount of levels will overcome, the lack of equipment that you've got. That makes sense.
Exactly. It also helps the spells a little bit, so it's just like just patch it over and then hopefully you find something. Normally, if I have nothing in the end game, I just go and kill like 3 dragons. And then hopefully I find like a sword or something. But if nothing happens there, then it's kind of like the thing seed. The Coliseum Grand Final First seed, where you're just like scrambling for offense, you just kind of put together whatever you can. Like for this one, I would have gotten Bum Rush like I did in the other seed. But because I felt like my offense was okay with the Ragnarok, I just like didn't do it.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, you got anything else for Falcon Hit here, Turisman, while we watched our other runners finish up?
No, I can't think of anything other than GG's. Good job getting through a real nasty one.
Wait, Vic has Strago? Where was Strago?
Strago was... Squack got Strago too. South Figaro Prisoner, and Celeste was in Zone Eater.
Zone Eater. I thought about, like, because I was 8-9, I thought about looking at, or peeking Shadow's Cave on the Belt, but I was like...
That was an Esper. Ficta has Fenrir from somewhere. I don't know where he got that. But he definitely has Celeste, so that's interesting.
Oh, yeah, he was... I think the Squack was the only one that we were watching that bothered to go into the Zone Eater check.
We were wondering who was going to do it because there are chests in there, right? If you don't have offense, that's a good thing to do, is to just go in there to look for chests and whatnot. So, but yeah, so I didn't get to stick around for the end of the race for last night, but congratulations on the Coliseum win and also being currently in first place in the Mega Elixir division. Is there anything you can't do, Falconet? Can you come change the oil on my snowblower, please? He's
Oh
getting
yeah,
very
I got a
cold
toilet downstairs that's been acting up.
It's kind
Oh,
of funny
man.
because I do run invasion, so I can actually...
Oh, okay, all right, rock on. Let's make this happen. Let's go.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. So yeah, again, thanks for running the race and for agreeing to be volunteered on stream, even though you weren't selected. We did punch you in at the end of the race because, like I said, Squack unfortunately forgot to save after like at least 20 minutes worth of stuff. So it's understandable for him to be like, "Yep, I'm done."
Oh yeah, I don't blame him at all for that one.
Oh, did anybody follow me into floating continent, or did I
Yeah.
have that all to myself?
I believe
I think
that
Javinator did?
Javinator did it.
Oh, okay. How did he handle the Mountain Master?
Pulled everything out. Used the Pearl Rod at the beginning. Used a Super Ball. I think got a Mimic off once before Go-Go died. And then I forget what the last... Bahamut.
He
I
used
think. Just
Bahamut,
pulled
and
every
then
tool.
He also used Dance and Wombat.
Right.
Oh, Wombat? I didn't see any dance skills. I did use Snare for the second form of Senior Behemoth, which was super fun.
Yeah, that's always nice to get. But yeah, so that's how he did it. It was ultimately a marsupial that got him past Magimaster.
Nice.
So chat pointing out, which Javinator is now finally up to tier 4 via very effective Phantom strats. Used it at just the right time to avoid all those calmness procs.
He did so this is Javinator's second Kefka climb, and the first one, his Phantom came off a little too early. He got medioed, and 3 out of the 4 party members died. He brought them back up, only to have 2 of them die to medio and 1 of them die to calmness. So he had a very rough first fight there. So.
Oh, I feel that.
Yeah. And it's just like he did the best that he could with the 2 bench players that came off, but Havoc Wing got a Havoc Wing, you know?
Lasted a lot longer than I expected.
Yeah, Ficta also with a nice strategy there, finishing up tier 3 as well. But anyway, yes, Falconet, thanks for hanging out with us for a little bit and telling us a little about your run. And congratulations on your first place win in this practice seed.
Thank you. Thanks for restreaming too.
All right, no problem. Catch you on the next one.
You have a good night. So here's something fun. I just noticed Jexvrok has 11 Pearl Rods.
That's a lot of Pearl Rods.
That's a lot. I mean, hard to blame him. It's not a whole lot of other options available if you got no real offense, you might as well just drop a ton of money.
Yep. Here comes the Goner, and Setzer is going to be a Goner. Meanwhile, Fitz is on his tier 3, and all of his characters are in triple digits, so that's no fun. He's going to have to recover here. And Ficta just recovered from his own fallen one. Ooh, there it is. Javinator, second try.
Hey.
The GG, 137.57.
Very good.
So yeah, go give our runners a follow, by the way. The original team that we were restreaming, Squack, Jav, Jex, OneFreeFitz.
Yeah, and definitely check out the rest of them. Ficta and Falcon Hit are both excellent runners themselves. So yeah, congratulations to Javinator. Tenacity winning the day. Jexvrok heads up to tier 3. OneFreeFitz still taking out that one in the front. Got very low HP totals.
What up, Javinator?
Hey!
As Ficta finishes, finally, we're now getting the finishes in 138.54. Tell us about how you felt about that seed.
Well, I wanted it to be a close race, so I held up a little bit for Falcon. And then I wanted it to be a close race again, so I knocked myself out and then held up for Ficta.
There you go.
You know, for the fans, hashtag.
Yeah. Putting on a show.
Yeah. Honestly, I was kind of looking at the chat in Discord, and people are like, "Oh, rough seed, blah blah." I'm like, I don't I don't think it is. Yeah, I don't know. The seed felt great, like right up until I screwed myself up at Kefka because I don't know how to count. Like literally just count a little better at tier 3, and that's a victory for sure.
Yeah, Fitz is in a rough spot here. Terra 2 HP,
Oh.
Edgar 0 HP, Setzer 25 HP, Gogo 2 HP. So we'll see how he.
Well, at least Fallen 1 isn't really going to be a big deal.
Yeah, right. Going from 2 to 1 HP isn't so bad. Yeah, I really liked your strategy in the beginning of, hey, I found a Super Ball, let's go kill some dragons with mimics.
Yeah.
So is that something you usually do when you find something like that early in the seed when you have a character like Gogo?
Yes. I got really excited. I didn't end up having to use it because some other stuff went really well, but I got really excited about the. I also found a Pearl Rod and like Thunder Shields and Ice Rod. I found a lot of breakables early, and I got really excited about that with Gogo. And I kind of had to reel back a little bit to like not go immediately. Like still do some looting, still do some other stuff, but yeah. If I have Gogo and I start getting breakables like that, absolutely, I'm gonna go for some fight really early because then there's no grinding.
And so what sort of strategies do you use for, like you said, you had the Super Balls, you had offense for the immediate first part, like the first couple of checks, first couple of bosses, take a couple of dragons, but you did find the Ragnarok, which seemed to be pretty clutch. How are you feeling after you found the economizer on the first dragon?
It honestly, I thought I was going to go in a totally different direction. I found that economizer, and in my head I was like, okay, well, somebody's going to be a caster. I'm going to get this economizer on him right away. And I actually thought, I was like, oh, I've got Bahamut. I'm just going to start casting Bahamut with the economizer on and do big damage. Then I kind of forgot to put the economizer on and didn't do that. And then I didn't really have to do that because other stuff kind of fell into place. But yeah.
Yeah, and then of course you also were able to grab, the at least one of the big swords, and you ended up going down to the save and check for your 6th character for an Atma weapon, which is another big sword that unfortunately you had on the first fight with Kefka, where you couldn't keep your HP high enough to do any damage to punch through there.
Yeah, he was the wrong one to stay alive. Really, only Terra would have maybe had a chance, but when you're in that, I honestly should have reset. I don't know, like 10 minutes earlier.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things where you're like, God, I think I can. The little engine that could, and then it.
Yeah. Well, basically in my head, I'm like, could you imagine? How cool would it be to pull this out?
Yeah, stranger things have happened, right? So, yeah. Were there any other interesting strategies that you were thinking of doing? Oh, I know the Magimaster fight at the end of the
Oh yeah, that ruled.
That worked out. I was getting worried. I was starting to run out of stuff to do. But I remembered. So I do like dance. Like it's not great. But if you actually check the dances and kind of in your head, be like, okay, this one's offensive, I can heal with this one, whatever. And I knew I had Wump as like a high percentage roll on Wind Aria or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, I've got Bahamut, I've got Pummel, I've got potential for Wump, and I'm just gonna jump and get Shadow out of the way just in case he has to keep somebody else alive or something.
Right.
And then what else did I have? Did I have a super? I think I had a super
Ball.
I basically used I cast Maduin. I think I used every piece of
Maduin, that's what it was.
Elemental damage that I could have done. And I was really glad he died after that. I think it was the Bahamut that actually took him out or something. But I was glad he died when he did because I was really... Things would have slowed down a lot after that.
Is that why you bought a fat stack of Pearl Rods? You're like, hey, if it worked against Magimaster.
I believe you have me mistaken with someone else, sir.
Yeah, that's Jexvrok.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Who is chucking them at Kefka right now.
There you go. You did buy a fat stack of X potions, though, noticing that there was no heals in the seed.
And that worked out.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's one I kind of started doing that after last season in Ultros League. I started noting where X potions were and then waiting around for healing to show up. And then if it never did, save all my money and go buy X potions at the end so I have something to recover with. And honestly, it worked out really well. Like, honestly, that seed went great, except for tier 3. And the only thing that went wrong on tier 3 is I don't know how to count.
Math is hard.
It is. Especially after that Doomgaze fight.
Yeah.
So Fitz, OneFreeFitz crosses the finish line at 144.20, successfully taking Kefka out. Jexvrok is not too far behind. Everybody's really healthy. They haven't even used half of their Pearl Rods yet.
But yeah, so Turdsman, you got anything else for Javinator before we let him go?
Nope. I'm glad you brought up the Magimaster fight. That was really impressive. Really good use of all of the tools in your tool belt there.
Yeah, that's it for me as well. So thank you for allowing us to feature you on stream. Appreciate it, and good luck this season in Ultros League.
Thank you. Oh, I just have one little question. Did you notice when I forgot to put the offering on Edgar for the Doomgaze fight and then didn't want to reset again?
Oh no!
I didn't. I thought that you had swapped out the offering for like either a safety bit or a memento ring. I noticed you did that, but
I had offering hero ring, and I took off the offering and put the safety bit on instead of taking off the hero ring and putting the offering on. Anyway.
Yeah.
I didn't do what I wanted to do, and then I got into the fight and I was wondering why I wasn't swinging more. So, anyway. Yeah, thanks for running the restream thing, and thanks everybody for watching, and hope you all have a good night. Bye.
Alright, catch you later.
Yeah, have a good night.
Speaking of a good night, that is Good Night Kefka for Jexvrok, 146.09.
The clown is finally dead.
Ding dong, the witch is dead.
Yay. GG's to all of our runners. This was a weird one. Like, there's a couple of people that have come in and have said it was all based on who was going where. Like, 2 of the 6 runners on this were feeling like it wasn't really that big of a deal of a seed, and that's the other 4 definitely didn't seem to have that same experience.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get some of our other runners in here for an interview, but yeah, it's one of those things where it definitely depended upon where you went and where you wanted to go. And we've got both OneFreeFitz and Jexvrok with us in the booth. Congratulations on finishing that seed. GG.
GG's.
So, Fitz, that was a bit of a battle there at the end, huh?
I mean, I didn't think I was going to make it, and I was like, all right, I'm going to give this a shot. And if I wipe, then I'll just FF and not try to grind this out again. Probably the most clutch Mega Elixir steal off of tier 4 that I've ever experienced. I was screwed really nice. Without getting that.
Yeah, that was really, really nice, because there was no cure magic anywhere to be found in the seed, really. So.
I mean, like, aside from elemental shields and, casting corresponding element, there was plenty of elixirs. I had plenty of those.
Yeah, so Ficta asking the question that I was just going to ask you about Jexvrok in the race room. You went and you stacked up on those pearl rods. Was that like, listen, I've got no offense here, other than the Atma weapon I found from doing the Edgar loop. I need something. So, was that your thought process there?
Yep, that was exactly it. No offense. I'm relying on tier 2 magic, and I got nothing else. I mean, like, aside from grinding levels and trying to get myself bum rush, I needed to get moving. So it was sell the kitchen sink and buy every single pearl rod I could get my hands on.
Yeah, it seemed to work out. There was a lot of flagging offense throughout the whole seed. So like definitely at the end there, buying up as many pearl rods as you can. Where did you find those, by the way? I might have missed that. Was that in Nikia?
What, the pearl rods?
Yeah.
It was either Jador or Nikia. Or no, not Nikia. Is it Nikia? Yeah.
Oh wait, you went to Miranda too, I think, didn't you? I think it's somebody else.
The town that's south of the Opera House in World of Ruin.
Okay, yeah, that's Miranda. That's the one where in the vanilla game you find the messenger pigeon that goes over to Cyan over there. Yeah, there's just the armor shop and the weapon shop there.
Yep, that's where I found my rods, and that's where I'm like, I gotta move.
Yeah, it got you through.
Yeah, I was a little salty, running into Goddess. I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, I was gonna be dumping pearl rods. Well, I'm not gonna be doing that now.
Not anymore.
Let's go reset, re-rig the Atma weapon, Dragoon strats that I'm doing, and just go to town with that. I'll be fine.
Yeah, and Fitz, you had a little bit of it was a very long Doomgaze fight for you as well at the Inferno spot. So tell us about your decision to overload Party 3 and do the middle that way. Were you just hoping to get more levels for your party? Because I think it seemed like you had thought maybe that your team was under-leveled a little bit.
I felt both under-leveled and underpowered. It was a double problem. I couldn't solve one. The whole steed, I was kind of like, well, I got Bahamut and I can mimic that for a while. I'll find something. Turned out the sniper I bought on a whim was clutch. But it was because I had my jumper and my sniper offering. They needed more levels. And then I was like, the other two can't kill stuff by themselves. So I felt kind of, it was either like go dragon hunting, or grind, or just knock it out. So I decided to do the double dip, and I still barely squeaked by it then.
Where was this sniper? I would have bought one of those in a heartbeat to go with my offering.
Oh man, I want to say it was in. I stopped in
World of Ruin, IKEA, I think.
Yeah,
okay.
that was my random place I went.
Yeah, I will sometimes stop there after I'm done looting World of Ruin South Figaro because it's real close. It's not very far. Or if I'm going to like Cyan's Stream since it's right next to there, right? But yeah, a lot of random shot placements. You also got Umaro, which pointed you up to World of Ruin Narsh to go get Realm, and thankfully you did for that Ragnarok sword from the Narsh Dragon. That was, I think, the only big sword other than the Atma weapon that Jexvrok's found in the basement of the South Figaro engine room.
Oh, that rag would have solved so many problems for me.
Oh, man.
So many problems.
Yeah, it's interesting because you guys took very different paths. Jex, you found Sabin, I think, the first out of all of our runners, so you leaned into his checks. Unfortunately, a lot of them were dead, right? I think Imperial Camp was dead, Baron Falls was dead. Thankfully, you ended up with Locke on the Phantom Train. But...
Oh, I noped out out of Baron Falls. I noped out of that.
Oh, that's right. That was Poltergeist. I'm sorry. Yep. So that's where Spicy Chicken was this seed, in case anybody else is wondering.
Yeah, I decided to do some unusual checks, and some of them kind of panned out, but because I'm like, all right, my early offense is garbage. I'm gonna have to lean on levels right now. So let's grind Elite River, and the grind fights were garbage.
Yeah, in general, there was, I think, maybe a grand total of 4 half-decent weapons in the entire seed. Jex,
if you knew where to look, right?
Right, yeah, none of them were in the critical path for anybody. So Jex, you solved that by just buying a boatload of pearl rods near the end. Fitz, what were your thoughts going into not necessarily Kefka Tower, but getting closer to the end game and realizing that, like, hey, this might not break good for me along the way?
Yeah, I was really worried. I knew I had a single pearl rod that I felt like I was going to need. Hopefully I could get it all the way to the tower, which I did at the end. But yeah, really, other than the Ragnarok and sniper offering, and like Quick, thank goodness. Quick was on Asper. I use that so much, but I had nothing. That's kind of what drove the load up and clear the middle, and hope that levels and just digging into inventory would get me through. And it did.
Well, GG's, you guys. That was a good show.
Yeah, I would definitely. I mean, sometimes these pop up in the Ultros League. You know, our weekly races, we get the bad ones, and
you seem to roll them all the time. I'm just kidding.
well, I was gonna say that too. Is that I did roll it. I apologized before the race, so no one can be mad.
It's
and
true.
It provided
maybe-
quality entertainment.
Oh, for sure. Listen,
when
both of you guys went Leet River, and when we saw the enemies on there, we're like, dear God, what is happening here?
Multiple master pugs.
Yeah. Although
I only
Jax,
saw the one.
you were able to steal an elixir from one. So
Yeah,
that was
I was
cool,
hoping
at
for
least.
the mega.
Yeah, that'll happen. So, yeah. Any other final thoughts, Fitz, before we let you go?
Yeah, I would say if you're in a race with me and someone asks for someone to roll the seed, I'm gonna do it.
So we're gonna have a wonderful time.
I'll do it again.
I have no regrets. Everyone that finished should be proud, and for those that don't, if it's not fun, it's okay to stop too. So
Yeah.
that's also a good choice.
Oh
and
yeah.
Great effort out there from everyone. I'll be excited to watch the race back and see some other creativity that I wasn't able to pull out.
Yeah.
I might bury this one.
Unfortunately, we were not able to see Falcon Hit drain Magimaster to death.
Oh man.
But we did see Jexvrok use, not Jexvrok, Javinator use some pretty interesting strats to defeat Magimaster at the end of the floating combat. So that was certainly an interesting one. There was a lot of cool strats that got pulled out here, there, and everywhere. So
Definite route divergence.
Oh yeah, that was one of the great things about this season, that there was people going in all sorts of different ways. Unfortunately, before Squack just took a forfeit from losing time, he did not save after he got his 7th Esper, so he went all the way back from Kefka's Tower to a really long time ago save. He had Celeste and Strago, so it was like very crazy with all of the different things that were going on in there. So
what did we find like every character in the game?
We didn't see Gal.
Cyan was missing.
Cyan, I think.
No Mog.
No Mog, Cyan, no Gal. I think that's it, though.
But yeah, I think that's it.
Oh my god, that is huge route divergence.
That's
for
11
this
out of
seed.
14.
Yep.
my
Any other
goodness.
final thoughts from you, Jexy, on this seed or the race?
Well, I just want to say thank you for having me, and anybody that is new to Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide, come join our Discord, ff6wc.com or ff6worldscollide.com. There's a link to our Discord. We got a wonderful community willing to teach you all the fun little routing, some of the strats, and all the other fun nifty stuff in regards to the game. Yeah, aside from that, GG's, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, thank you to both you and for OneFreeFitz for volunteering to be restreamed. Can't have these broadcasts without the racers, so really appreciate that. Thank you guys for volunteering, and good luck this season in Ultros League, except for Jexvrok, because you are in my division. So
Dude, that last seed you rolled, what the heck?
yeah, that was an interesting one. So
I have not been having any kind of luck with the actual racing of this.
yeah, well, listen, practice sometimes makes perfect, and hey, here's what I say. Not every seed is going to be a jet seed, and the jet seeds are the ones that are easy to figure out. You need a few of these seeds every once in a while to practice, hopefully not during an actual race, but to practice, so that in case you need to pull out some of these weird off-the-wall, off-the-cuff things, you're like, hey, I've been through this before and I know what to do, right? So
Yeah, like draining Magimaster. That's a new one on me. I learned that one tonight.
Yeah, yeah. Or go to World of Ruin IKEA and get a sniper for your offering. You know?
If it were me, I would simply buy the sniper from the shop.
Yeah, duh. But yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Yep. GG's.
GG's. Tursman, you got anything else before we get the heck out of here?
Not really. Just a big thank you to the runners for putting on the show, and a big thank you to my co-commentator and the restreamer, the Schwantz. Really, really glad that you put this on tonight.
Yeah, so thank you everybody in the chat for hanging out. Appreciate you coming out on a Saturday night. We are going to be raiding Moogleplex, who is currently doing some Ultros League 3 attempts. So hey, if you enjoyed what you just saw, you're going to enjoy this as well. And we will be back Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern on Speed Gaming, Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern on FF6 Worlds Collide Twitch, and Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern, FF6 Worlds Collide Twitch. We'll see everybody later. Catch you then. Bye-bye.
Have a good night.
See ya.